Have you ever wondered why people with narcissistic traits, those who love control and enjoy making others feel small, keep showing up in your life again and again? Even when you walk away and move on, they somehow return under a different face. At first they are magnetic, then they hurt you, and when they leave, they take a piece of you with them. I used to wonder the same thing, until I realized maybe they didn't come to destroy you, but to awaken something deeper within you. There is something few people ever teach us. Not everyone who enters our life is a gentle blessing. Some come as a test, some come as fire. But fire does not only burn, it refines, just as silver must pass through the fire to shine. I remember the words in Psalm 66:10, "For you, O God, have tested us. You have refined us, as silver is refined." Perhaps the relationships that broke your heart were not mistakes, but furnaces meant to purify your soul, to make it clear, steady, and able to see life with different eyes. When you carry light within you, you attract both light and shadow. That is natural. Light never exists without casting its own shadow. Narcissists are drawn to your light like moths to a flame. They admire it, then envy it, then try to possess it. And through your clash with them, you begin to see who you truly are, to understand your strength, your limits, and your worth. At first, they make you believe you are special, that you are seen, chosen, loved. Then slowly, they make you doubt yourself. They drain your energy and leave nothing but emptiness. But I want you to know this: they cannot take your light. They can only dim it for a while. That light never came from them, and it cannot be taken by them. It lives within you, placed there by the divine long before you were born. I know, sometimes you are tired. You ask yourself, why me? Why do I keep meeting people like that? But maybe the better question is, what am I being taught through them? Because in truth, every encounter is a hidden lesson. The one who hurts you teaches you about boundaries. The one who betrays you teaches you to trust your intuition. The one who breaks you teaches you how to love yourself. And when you look at them through that lens, anger begins to fade, making room for understanding. I once thought I was a victim, until I realized that each time I was hurt, I became stronger, brighter, more authentic. Narcissists cannot stand that truth, because they live on attention, while you live on silence. They need noise. You need space. They need an audience. You seek peace, and it is your peace that unsettles them. They test you, provoke you, trying to pull you into their chaos where noise hides the truth. But you can choose not to join. You can stand still. Real strength is not in reacting, but in staying centered. When you do not respond, their energy dissolves, like a storm crashing against a mountain, only to find silence. You do not need to prove your power. You only need not to be carried away. And in that stillness, you will hear something small but clear. Your soul remains whole, untouched. I want you to know that you are not alone. There is a sacred reason behind every challenge you have faced. You may not see it yet, but every small thing, a word, a meeting, a tear, has been arranged to awaken you. When you sit still and look deeper, you will see that everyone who hurt you was only playing a role to help your soul evolve. Some come to teach you love, others come to teach you how to leave. Both are equally important. I am not saying this to justify pain, but to free you from resentment. Because when we resent, we stay trapped in their story. But when we understand, we step out of it, and then the pain loses its power. It becomes a lesson, a doorway, like dawn shining on the water after a long night. You look at the cracks in your heart and realize that light is entering through those very openings. A friend once told me, God does not send us perfect souls to love easily. He sends us wounded souls so we may learn to love through difficulty. That sentence stayed with me for years, perhaps because it is true. No one enters our life by accident. Whether they bring smiles or tears, they are part of our awakening journey. And when you understand that, everything becomes lighter. You no longer fear meeting them again. You no longer fear being hurt, because you know every fall is a refining of the soul. Every disappointment polishes the light within you. So if you are walking through darkness right now, do not be afraid. Darkness only comes to remind you that your light is real. The challenge is not your enemy. It is your initiation. Your soul is not being punished. It is being purified. And one day, you will rise, calm and clear, and you will know that everything that once hurt you was helping you become exactly who you were born to be. There are moments when you choose silence instead of arguing, when you choose to step back instead of proving yourself, and others think you are weak. But only those who have walked through darkness understand that true silence is not surrender. It is a form of strength. You may have been misunderstood many times for that stillness, but if you look deeper, you will see that in silence, the soul is speaking. And sometimes that very stillness is what makes those who crave noise feel the most uneasy. I once heard an old story about a silent monk. He lived in solitude on a mountain peak, preaching nothing, debating no one, living only in perfect peace. People came to him, not for his words, but for the energy they felt from him, an energy that helped them see themselves in quietness. One day, a powerful king heard of this monk. The king could not understand why people admired someone who said nothing and showed nothing. Jealousy rose in his heart. He summoned the monk and demanded that he prove his wisdom before the royal court. The monk only smiled and bowed. His silence froze the entire palace. And in that moment, everyone understood. There are things that cannot be measured by words, only felt by the soul. That story always reminds me of us, those who carry light but are tested by narcissistic souls. They are like that king, unable to bear seeing someone shine without noise. They need attention, praise, and applause to feel worthy. But you do not need that. You only need to be yourself. And it is that stillness that makes them feel small. People often say, when you do not react, you make others face themselves. For the narcissist, that is what they fear most. They are afraid to look inside and see emptiness, so they try to provoke you, to say things that hurt you, to act in ways that anger you. They want you to react, to lose your calm, because only when you leave your peace do they feel powerful. But when you keep your peace, they have nothing to hold on to. I remember a time in my life when I stood before the person who had hurt me the most. Everything in me wanted to scream, to explain, to be understood, but something stopped me. I took a deep breath, looked into their eyes, and said nothing. In that moment, I felt something strange. When you no longer need to prove anything, you begin to touch a new kind of power, the power of silence. And I realized, not everyone can stand still in the storm. Only those who know who they are and trust their own light can do that. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." I had read that verse many times, but only after going through pain did I truly understand it. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is trust. Trust that even when you do nothing, the divine is still working. Even when you say nothing, truth is being revealed. When you stop resisting, you begin to flow with the current of spirit. And there, you are protected in a different way, not by walls, but by light from within. Narcissistic people do not understand this kind of strength. They measure power by who speaks louder, who controls more. But for chosen souls, power is not in the roar, it is in the breath. Like the deep ocean, the deeper you go, the calmer it becomes. The storms exist only on the surface. If you stay deep, you are never swept away by the waves. Sometimes silence is also a prayer. When you stop trying to make others understand you, you are saying to God, "I trust you know." And the miracle is, the moment you release control, what belongs to you will find its way back, and what no longer fits will drift away, gently, like a falling leaf. That is not loss, it is cleansing. If you have ever been hurt because you did not react the way others wanted, I want to tell you this: you are not weak. You are stronger than you think. Your strength does not need anyone's recognition. It does not need applause. It only needs you to keep choosing peace over chaos. And in that choice, your soul grows, little by little, even if you do not notice it. Maybe you are sitting in a quiet room right now, listening to these words, and feeling your heart soften. Let that silence embrace you. Let it flow through you like cool water after a long, hot day. All the things you wanted to say, every argument you held inside, let them fade away. Because you do not always need to be understood. Sometimes you only need to be at peace. When you start living with that spirit, you will see that narcissistic people no longer affect you as before. They may still try to stir things up, but you are no longer touched. They speak, you smile. They provoke, you stay silent. And in that silence, you see clearly one truth: real strength never needs noise. It only needs presence. I believe that within each person hearing these words, there is a part of that silent monk, a part that has been challenged, misunderstood, pulled down, yet still remains calm. Do not underestimate that strength, because your peace is a living testimony of divine light. And if one day you feel too tired to speak, remember this: you do not need to. Your light has already spoken. It speaks through the way you forgive, through the way you walk away without hatred, through the way you choose silence without bitterness. Every small act is a quiet prayer. In the middle of the night, when you look up at the sky, you may notice how strangely silent everything seems. Yet even in that silence, the universe is still moving. Light is still spreading. The wind is still blowing. And your soul, even as it sits alone, is surrounded by unseen love. So if today you feel lonely on your journey, remember my words. You are not alone. You are simply being taught a new language, the language of silence. And in that language, you will hear the voice of your own soul, of the divine, of the wordless light that has always lived within your heart. There are nights when you lie still in the dark, yet you feel as if a light is glowing from within. Not a light that your eyes can see, but one that your heart can feel, warm, pure, and peaceful. It is the kind of light that draws others to you for comfort, to be heard, to find a moment of calm. And it is also the same light that makes narcissists uneasy. They cannot understand how you can be so gentle and still be strong, how you can be hurt and yet never turn bitter. I call that the light of ether, an invisible, translucent essence higher than air. In ancient mythology, ether was seen as the pure substance of the heavens, a realm that only the most sacred souls could touch. The light within you is like that, something no one can steal, only hidden when you forget it exists. When you live honestly, when you choose kindness even when no one is watching, when you keep compassion alive even through pain, that is when your ether shines brightest. Those with narcissistic traits cannot bear this kind of light. They live in the shadow of their ego, in their need to be admired and to prove they are above others. Your light is like a mirror showing them their own emptiness, so they try to dim it. They twist your words, make you doubt yourself, make you feel guilty simply for being who you are. They do not do this because they are powerful, but because they are afraid. Deep down, they know they cannot create light, only try to cover it. I remember once, someone told me I was too kind, too trusting, that I would keep getting hurt if I didn't change. I believed that for a long time. I tried to be harder, colder, but it only made me feel distant from myself. Then one day, sitting alone, I realized I was not made to be like them. My light was not meant to fight, but to shine. And light does not need to become steel to protect itself. It only needs to stay true to its nature. I want to tell you this: never let anyone make you feel ashamed of your gentle heart. The world needs people who can listen, who can love, who keep their promises even when no one notices. Your kindness is not weakness, it is strength. It is proof that even after being hurt, you still choose love. And that is something darkness will never understand. Psalm 27:1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" That verse feels like a soft breath in my heart whenever doubt tries to cover me. When you remember that your light does not come from the world, you no longer fear what the world can do to you. Because God has placed within you a flame that never dies. As long as you breathe, it is there. Let me tell you this: your light can change others even without words. A gentle look, a kind smile, a small act of love. These are the ways ether works through you. It spreads slowly but deeply. You may never know whose life you saved just by being who you are. And perhaps that is exactly why you are here. Narcissists cannot understand this. They want to control, to possess, to influence through fear. But you influence through light. The difference is, they need to be seen, while you only need to be present. And true presence always unsettles lost souls. They will try to diminish you, to feel safe. They will say you are too sensitive, too dreamy, too soft. But they say that because they cannot reach the depth where you live. If you are hearing these words now and something within you stirs, maybe your soul is remembering that light. Hold it, protect it, not with walls, but with love. And if you feel your light growing dim, remember it is only covered by the dust of fear. Blow that dust away with gratitude, with prayer, with kindness toward yourself. I do not know where you are on your journey, but I know this for sure. If you are hearing these words, your light is still there. It is calling you home. And maybe, just maybe, you are the reason someone out there still believes in goodness. Before we end this part, I want you to do something small. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, think of the light you carry. What color is it? Who is it shining for? Then, if you feel a sense of connection, a quiet calling, share your reflection. Not because you need to prove anything, but because when you share, your light expands. We are lamps in the same night, and sometimes one honest word is enough to brighten another's heart. You know, every time I see someone say they feel this too, it feels like stars finding each other again in the sky. We are not alone. None of us are solitary lights. We are simply being called back to the same source, the source of light, of ether, of God. So do not fear when others do not understand you. Do not fear when they mock your gentleness. Remember, souls of light are always tested more, because their light reveals everything around them. Keep shining, softly and true, because real light never needs to prove itself. It only needs to be. And one day, as you stand in stillness watching the world spin on, you will realize something simple yet profound. You do not need to be seen to shine. True light does not need an audience. It only needs you. There comes a point in your journey when the light within you not only shines, but begins to illuminate everything around you. You start to see more clearly, not only who people are, but also the layers they've built to survive, the stories they hide behind. The more awakened you become, the more you sense the fragility of this world. What once inspired, you now feels hollow. The people you once trusted, you begin to see them acting from fear, from illusion, and then you realize you carry something they do not. Truth. Truth is not something grand or distant, not a hidden cosmic secret. It is simply a clear, honest seeing, without distortion, without disguise. Yet that simplicity is what terrifies the narcissist. They live on illusion, on others believing them, admiring them, seeing them as the center. Your light, the light that does not lie or pretend, becomes a threat. You do not need to expose them. Your presence alone begins to crack the masks around you. I think of Hypatia of Alexandria. The great philosopher who taught that knowledge is the path of the soul toward God. She was killed by those who feared understanding, because her wisdom revealed the lies they tried to hide. But Hypatia did not hate them. She left this world with the calm of one who knew that truth can never die. Her soul, like all souls who carry the light of knowledge, lives on in those who dare to speak, to see, to stand unbowed. Perhaps you have been there too. You spoke an honest truth, and people turned away. You shared what was real, only to be told you were too direct, too sensitive. But do not doubt yourself. Truth always makes others uncomfortable, especially those who live in shadows. You were not sent here to please them. You were sent to awaken. And awakening is rarely comfortable. I know there are times you want to be silent, to withdraw, because seeing too much can feel exhausting. But you were not sent here to dim your sight. God gave you the ability to see through illusion, not to make you suffer, but to help others find their way out. Do not let fear silence you. Hold your lamp high, even when all around you is dark. Psalm 119-105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." I have always felt that verse was a whisper to awakening souls, that no matter what surrounds you, even the smallest flame of truth is enough to guide your steps. You do not need to see far, only the next step in that light. When you live truthfully, narcissists reveal their falsehood through their own reactions. They twist the story. They make you doubt yourself. They call you delusional, arrogant, attention-seeking. They distort and accuse, because that is the only way their illusion can survive. But remember, truth does not need to be believed to remain truth, just as light does not need praise to shine. I once watched a friend go through that stage. She worked in a place full of false smiles and shallow compliments. When she spoke honestly, they turned on her. When she held her principles, they tried to discredit her. She was hurt, but she did not quit. "If I stay silent, I become like them," she said. "And if I become like them, I lose myself." She chose to stay, not to prove anything, but to keep her light alive for those still finding their way. That is what chosen souls do. They stand in truth, even when it makes them lonely. because they know that silence in the face of lies is also betrayal, not of others, but of one's own soul. But you do not need to fight. Truth does not need weapons. It only needs to remain unbent, untwisted, unbroken. When you hold your energy steady, the falsehood around you will dissolve on its own. Because light does not have to chase away darkness. It only needs to exist, and darkness has nowhere left to hide. If you find yourself in a place full of illusion, manipulation, and deceit, do not be afraid. Remember, you were sent there to be a mirror of truth. Sometimes your very presence shifts the energy of a space. You do not need to argue. You do not need to prove. Just stand tall in truth, and you are already shaking the world around you. I once read that light never has to defeat darkness. It only has to be lit. And that is you. You do not need to prove or fight. Just keep living honestly. Keep shining through your presence. Narcissists will never understand why you do not collapse. They will be confused by how you still smile after betrayal, how you still show kindness after being misunderstood. They do not know that you do not live on their approval. You live from something much greater, from God, from truth, from the light beyond illusion. And if one day you feel lonely on this path, remember, even Hypatia, in the midst of violence and threat, refused to bow her head. You are not walking alone. There are countless souls, unseen but real, holding their lamps as you do, standing quietly, steady, and full of love. Truth, when held in the hands of souls like yours, becomes more than knowledge. It becomes living light, a flame that never goes out, shining not only for you, but for all those still wandering through the night of illusion. And if today you find yourself misunderstood or opposed, take a deep breath, exhale, and whisper to yourself, I still stand in the light. Because that alone is enough to weaken the power of darkness. Have you ever noticed how sometimes the things that seem random in life happen at the exact moment you need them most? An unexpected phone call? A stranger's smile right when you feel lost? Or a door opening just as every hope seems to close? Moments like these are not coincidences. They are the universe's way of telling you that you are on the right path. I believe that every soul carrying light is a weaver of serendipity. You are not moving through life passively, even when you don't realize it. Every choice, every breath, every thought is weaving into the invisible fabric of destiny. You and the universe are not separate. You are a single thread in a vast tapestry, and when you live true to your light, the other threads begin to vibrate in harmony, creating those magical alignments that seem impossible, yet are precise to the beat of your heart. Narcissists do not understand this. They believe everything happens only if they control it, plan it, dominate it. But souls like yours hold a different kind of power, the power of trust. You do not grasp, you do not chase, you do not force. You release and let the river of spirit flow through you. In that surrender, miracles begin. I once knew a woman who lost everything: her job, her home, her relationships. She thought she had hit rock bottom, until one day, sitting on a park bench, she heard a child singing nearby. For no reason, she began to cry. And at that very moment, a stranger walked by, stopped, and spoke to her. That short conversation became the beginning of a new journey. That man later helped her find a new job, a new life. She told me, if I hadn't sat on that bench at that exact time, none of this would have happened. But maybe the universe had placed me there long before. That is how light works. When you live in the frequency of trust and gratitude, the universe rearranges itself around you. It doesn't need your calculations. It only needs your presence and an open heart. Psalm 37:23 says, "The steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in their way." Every step you take, even the ones that feel uncertain, is part of the melody God has already written for your soul. When you start to realize this, you stop trying to control everything. You stop asking why and start saying, all right. You begin to understand that everything happens with divine purpose. Whether you meet someone, lose something, or face a delay, each is a thread needed to complete the picture of your destiny. The world calls it coincidence, but awakened souls call it alignment. When you live in harmony with your inner light, everything around you begins to align. You think of someone, and they message you. You feel drawn to a place, and there you meet exactly who you needed to meet. You write something down, and weeks later it becomes real. It's not magic, it's resonance between your soul and the rhythm of the universe. I believe the number 111 carries the energy of this truth, the mark of new beginnings, the signal of a door opening. When you keep seeing 111, it is not just a number, but a message. Pay attention. A new chapter is unfolding. Many call it an angel number, a sign of divine synchronicity. If you're hearing these words and feel that number echo within you, maybe that is your sign. Share the number that resonates with you, not out of superstition, but as a way of affirming that you are stepping into your alignment. Once, I asked someone who had endured deep pain what kept her from giving up. She said, "I believe nothing in my life is out of place. If something arrives, it comes to teach me. If something leaves, it makes room for what's next." I think that's how souls of light live. They don't resist life. They dance with it. Narcissists will always try to convince you that value comes only from control. But you are different. You create goodness, not through power, but through intuition. You don't force the world to turn your way. You guide it with the energy you radiate. And that energy is the silent prayer of your soul. Remember, nothing on this journey is meaningless. The person you meet today might be the answer to a prayer you whispered a year ago. The story you share might be the spark that lights someone else's path. Every kind gesture, every sincere thought, every brave choice is weaving a network of light far greater than you can imagine. When you understand this, life becomes softer. You stop resisting and stop fearing. You begin to trust the timing, trust the flow. And the beautiful thing is, when you stop trying so hard, everything starts to move more smoothly than ever. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will act. Psalm 37:5. This verse is a gentle reminder that you don't need to know the entire map. Just take one step in trust, and the next step will reveal itself. If you were standing at a crossroads right now, unsure of what lies ahead, take a deep breath. Whisper, "I trust." Because the moment you do, the wheel of destiny begins to turn. And one day soon, when you look back, you'll smile and say, "It was all meant to be." There is no distant miracle. The miracle lives in every breath of faith. And you, the one hearing these words, are living proof that God is still weaving divine coincidences every day, through your very heart. There are days when you sit alone in stillness, and a faint voice rises from within you, not the voice of reason, nor of memory. It feels like a warm wave flowing up from the marrow of your bones, a whisper beyond words. It doesn't tell you what to do, it simply comforts you, reminding you that you are being guided, that you are not alone. That is the echo of your ancestors. Every chosen soul carries within it an ancient memory. You are not merely the result of yesterday, but the continuation of hundreds, even thousands of souls who came before you. In your blood lives the story of those who loved, who lost, who prayed. Each time you face a challenge, it is they, the unseen ones, who stand around you, reminding you quietly that you are stronger than you believe. I have always believed that our ancestors never leave us. They simply shift into another form of presence. They speak through intuition, through dreams, through the coincidences you call chance. A familiar scent in the air, a song that plays at the perfect moment, an image that repeats itself, all are their messages. We are still here, they say, and we are proud of you. Psalm 16:7 says, "I will praise the Lord who counsels me. Even at night, my heart instructs me." I love how it emphasizes the words, "my heart," because it is within that quiet space, in the stillness of the soul, that the voices of your ancestors are heard most clearly. Not loud, not commanding, just a soft wave of gratitude rising within, wrapping you in a sense of safety and belonging. I once met a woman of Asian descent who told me that whenever she faced a difficult decision, she would light incense and sit in silence. Not to ask, not to beg, just to sit. And almost every time, clarity would come, an idea, a direction, or simply peace. She believed it was her ancestors answering her. I think she was right. When you truly listen, you realize that the spirits of the past are not far away. They live within your breath. Your ancestors survived war, loss, and hunger, yet they loved, endured, and prayed. Because of them, you are here. Because of them, resilience is already written in your soul. Remember, every time you choose light over hatred, you are healing your entire bloodline. Every time you forgive, you free a soul once trapped in resentment. You are not living only for yourself. You are fulfilling an ancient promise planted long ago. I call this the light of lineage, the light that passes through generations, never extinguished, even when forgotten. You may feel different from your family, like the black sheep, the one breaking the pattern, but that only means you were chosen to heal it. You are not misplaced. You are the answer. Your ancestors sent you here with eyes that see and a heart that dares to change. They once dreamed of freedom, peace, and love. They could not complete that dream, so they passed it on to you. And every time you live with honesty, kindness, and courage, you finish what they began. That is how their souls find redemption through you. Imagine this. Behind you stand hundreds of generations, shoulder to shoulder, eyes shining toward you. They do not judge, they do not demand. They simply smile and whisper, "You are not alone." Take a deep breath and feel that energy move along your spine. That is the power of sacred memory, the home of your soul. There is a symbol that often appears when your soul reconnects with its origin, the number 444. Many say it is the number of protection, a sign from angels and ancestors that they are with you. When you see it, pause. It may be their way of saying you are on the right path, that you are surrounded by unseen love. It is not mere coincidence, but a blessing carried through time, from the very blood that made you. If the number 444 stirs something in your heart, let it be your affirmation, not out of superstition, but as an act of connection. When you acknowledge your ancestors, their energy grows stronger. You are calling them closer, and they will answer. I once met an old Irish man who told me that whenever he walked through the ancient fields, he could hear the songs of the land. He said it was not the wind, but the spirits of the earth singing. They never leave, he said. They only wait for us to remember. I believe that's true for all of us. No matter where you come from, no matter who your ancestors are, the earth still carries their song, and your blood still carries their rhythm. Psalm 100:5 says, "For the Lord is good, His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endures to all generations." These words remind me that love does not end with one life, one era. It flows endlessly through time. You are living proof of that promise. So when you feel lonely, when the world feels chaotic and uncertain, close your eyes and remember an entire lineage stands behind you. With every step you take, they walk with you. With every tear you shed, they hold you in silence. And with every time you rise, they rejoice with you. Live in a way that honors the souls who sent you here. Love deeply, forgive freely, and be brave. Because when you do, it is not only you who becomes free, it is they who are finally set free too. You are the next heartbeat in a prayer that began centuries ago. And today, as you breathe, as you walk, as you choose light over fear, that prayer is being fulfilled through you. There are mornings when you wake up and feel a strange sadness in your heart, not because of anything specific, but because you can sense the weariness of the world. You look around and see so many people merely existing, not truly living. They work, eat, sleep, laugh, but the light in their eyes has dimmed. Their dreams lie somewhere behind the noise of daily life, buried under responsibilities, under fear of failure, under that whisper that says, "It's too late." And then you realize you cannot ignore it, because within your heart there is a breeze gentle but strong enough to reignite the fires that have gone out. People call you the whisperer of forgotten dreams. You don't need to shout or save anyone. Simply by the way you live, you help others remember what they once loved. The way you keep believing in good, the way you smile after heartbreak, the way you choose kindness over bitterness, all of it is a quiet invitation. Hey, don't forget, you can still begin again. I once met a middle-aged man who had worked for years in a job he hated. One day, he saw his little daughter painting in the living room. He stood there for a long time and suddenly burst into tears. He told me, "I realized I once dreamed of being an artist, but I buried that dream because I thought I wasn't good enough." After that day, he started painting again, not for fame, but to remember what it felt like to be alive. And he said that when he painted, he finally felt like he was breathing. I don't think that was coincidence. I think he met someone or something that rekindled that dream. Maybe just a conversation, a smile, A look, but enough for the wind to start blowing. You are that wind. You are not here to change others through logic, but through your energy. You remind people that goodness still exists, that hope is still alive, that miracles still happen. Narcissists can't stand this. They fear hope. They need the world around them tired, numb, and faithless, so they can control it. When you arrive and spark light in others, their power begins to tremble. They will try to extinguish you through mockery, through doubt, by making you feel foolish for believing. But you must not stop, because when you awaken someone's dream, you are helping to heal the world. Psalm 126:5 says, "Those who sow with tears will reap with joy." I believe that verse is the anthem of souls like yours, because you have planted seeds of hope even while your own heart was still wet with tears. You believe in rebirth, even among ruins, and that is what makes you different. I know there are times you feel tired from always being the one who inspires, from having to be strong while few understand the weight you carry. But you don't always have to shine. Even the wind has its quiet days. As long as you still believe, as long as you still remember how to dream, it is enough. Because dreams are contagious. One dreamer inspires 10 more to believe they can too. I remember watching a child run after a kite. He fell, laughed, and kept running. The kite didn't fly right away, but all it needed was one right gust of wind, and it soared. I think dream whisperers are like that. They don't create the dream, they just bring the wind at the right moment. Whether the kite rises depends on whether the one holding the string dares to keep running. Narcissists often mock people like you. They call you naive, unrealistic, a dreamer. But it's only because dreams are something they lost long ago. They laugh to hide the emptiness inside. But you, even when hurt, still choose to believe. And that belief, no matter how small, is enough to move the universe. If you are hearing these words now, maybe you were once like that someone who dreamed, then forgot, then grew weary. I just want to tell you, that dream is still alive. It's only sleeping. And sometimes the moment you give it permission to live again, your whole inner world begins to change. No one is too late to start. No one is left behind. No dream is ever wasted, only forgotten. I once read that when you live your own dream, you unconsciously give others permission to do the same. I believe that's true. Every time you live in alignment with your soul, you open a door for others to walk through. And in doing so, little by little, light returns to the world. If there's a forgotten dream in your heart, maybe to write, to sing, to travel, to love, or simply to find peace, I want you to promise yourself that you will touch it again. No rush, just begin. One step, one gentle act. Because every step toward your dream is a prayer sent into the heavens. And if you feel awakened, share it. Leave a word, a line, a dream you want to breathe life into again. Because when you speak it, you plant a new seed into the world. Someone might read it, and it will bloom in their heart. That is how light spreads not loudly, but softly, like the wind. And on dark days, remember this: you too are someone's dream. The dream of those who came before. The dream of those you've helped. The dream of God who sent you here. You are living proof that dreams can survive the dark, that hope can live beyond despair. And every time you choose to keep believing, you keep the flame alive, not just for yourself, but for all those not yet brave enough to dream. Hold that gentle breath in your heart, whisper of God's wind. Because this world needs you, the ones who dare to bring back the breeze, who dare to awaken what was once thought dead. And in the breath you offer, the universe begins to sing again. When your soul has learned to hold light, to keep wisdom, and to awaken dreams, a deeper challenge begins: learning balance. Because light without roots can be swept away by the wind, and wisdom without heart can turn into stone. So God places you in the middle of life itself, where earth, water, wind, and fire meet, so you may learn to become a keeper of natural harmony. Have you ever noticed that every time you lose your balance, the world around you seems to shift too? When you are angry, the sky feels heavier. When you are at peace, the wind softens. When you are sad, the rain comes. And when you are grateful, sunlight streams through your window like an embrace. That is not imagination. Your soul is a mirror reflecting the rhythm of the universe. You and the earth are not separate. You flow with water, breathe with wind, and shine with fire. It is said that in ancient times, There were people called druid souls, deeply connected to nature. They didn't try to control the universe. They listened to it. They knew that when humanity forgets its sacred link with heaven and earth, the world begins to lose its harmony. I believe you are a modern druid one, who carries within the power to restore balance between inner and outer worlds, between human and divine. Narcissists cannot stand that energy. They live in chaos, in the constant need to create conflict to feel alive. They need noise, while you carry stillness. They burn, while you heal. So they will try to break your balance with words, envy, or doubt, making you question your own peace. But you do not need to react. If you are water, nothing can burn you. If you are earth, no one can move you. If you are wind, no wall can contain you. I once spent a long time feeling lost among people, always rushing, competing, arguing. I tried to fit in, to speak louder, to prove my worth. But the more I tried, the more tired I became. One night, I sat by the river and watched the water flow. It didn't try. It simply moved winding, gentle, never fighting. Yet it still reached the ocean. I realized I didn't need to be fire to be seen. I could be water, quiet, yet unstoppable. From that night on, I began to find nature's rhythm within myself. I learned to hear the wind instead of the noise, to smell the earth after rain instead of smoke, to watch the fire instead of the screen. And I discovered that balance isn't the absence of movement. It is knowing when to flow, when to rest, when to blaze, and when to be still. Psalm 23:2-3 says, "He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." Every time I read that, my heart slows down. Balance doesn't come from control. It comes from allowing yourself to be guided. When you pause, nature heals you. When you open your heart, you become a vessel for the harmony of the universe. There's a number that often appears when your soul is moving into this state of alignment, 777. Many call it the number of spiritual awakening, the mark of harmony between body, mind, and spirit. When you see it, take it as a whisper that you are touching a higher vibration, a place where things are no longer right or wrong, but simply the flow of light and shadow in balance. If you feel connected to this number, let it be your sign and affirmation that your soul is returning to the natural rhythm of God. I once asked a friend who lived near the mountains what kept her so peaceful. She smiled and said, "I don't fight the weather." I asked what she meant. She said, "If it rains, I let it rain. If it shines, I let it shine. When I stop demanding the world to follow my will, I start feeling safe." I understood then that is the secret of souls in harmony with nature. They do not resist the flow. They move with it. So do you. Every time you choose forgiveness over anger, you become water. Every time you stand firm under pressure, you become earth. Every time you inspire someone, you become wind. And every time you act for what is right, you become fire. When these four elements unite within you, your soul becomes a doorway through which healing energy flows into the world. Those ruled by narcissism will try to pull you out of this state because they cannot exist in peace. But you have nothing to fear. Your serenity is untouchable. It does not depend on anything outside you. Once you realize you are part of the living earth and breathing sky, fear loses its power. I want you to try something small. The next time you feel unsteady, step outside. It can be a small yard, a gentle breeze, or the sound of rain. Touch the ground, take a deep breath, and whisper, "I am home." Because truly, you are home in creation. Home in God's embrace, where yin and yang merge within your heartbeat. Balance is not perfect stillness. It is the dance of the elements within you. Sometimes you are wind, sometimes earth, sometimes fire, sometimes water. But whatever you are the one keeping the rhythm of this great symphony. And only when your inner music is in tune will the world around you begin to soften. If today you feel weary, do not push yourself. Remember that even the sun rests each night, and even the sea grows calm before dawn. Allow yourself to return to nature, to let your inner light be renewed. And when you open your eyes, you will see that while everything looks the same, something within you has changed, because peace has returned to your soul. When your soul begins to move in harmony with nature, when silence becomes your language, you will sense another layer unfolding. Not just balance, not just light, but memory. A memory that doesn't belong only to you, but to all of humanity. It comes as an echo from long ago, from lost civilizations, from souls who once carried the same flame of awakening that you now hold. There are days when you feel a nameless nostalgia. You look at the sky and sense that you have seen it 1,000 times before, in another form, another life. You hear the sound of waves, and your heart tightens, as if remembering a place that exists nowhere on any map. That is the memory of the soul where ancient knowledge, ancient prayers, and sacred songs that have long slept are awakening through you. Every chosen soul carries a fragment of the wisdom of old civilizations. Atlantis, Lemuria, Egypt, Greece, Babylon, they are not just stories in books. They are layers of human energy flowing through time. Souls like yours were there, holding the knowledge of light, understanding that humanity is not separate from God, from nature, or from one another. And today, when you feel the pull to live deeper, truer, to heal, to create, to remember something familiar but unspoken, it is that ancient wisdom calling you home. In every age, the light of knowledge has been challenged. In Egypt, the Library of Alexandria burned. In West Africa, the manuscripts of Timbuktu were threatened. Across cultures, there have always been those who feared truth. They burned pages and silenced voices because they could not bear the power of understanding. But true wisdom cannot be destroyed. It simply transforms from paper into soul. And you, the one hearing these words, are part of that living memory. Psalm 78:4 says, "We will not hide them from their children. We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord." That verse reminds me that every soul of light carries a duty to pass knowledge forward, not through preaching, but through living with honesty, clarity, and devotion to keeping the flame of awareness alive amid the shadows of fear. I once met an elderly sculptor in Greece. He told me that whenever he touched marble, he felt as if he were speaking to the dead. They left their wisdom in the stone, he said. My job is to free it. I think that is what your soul is doing too, freeing buried knowledge through words, through love, through understanding. You are continuing the work of those ancient carriers of light. Narcissists will try to silence you. They will make you doubt what you know, make you feel too different, too deep, too hard to understand. They fear true wisdom because it exposes the false. But do not be afraid. You do not learn only from books, you learn from the soul. Every time you listen to your intuition, you are hearing the voices of thousands of souls who walked before you. There is a number that often appears when the soul reaches this stage, 999, the number of completion, the closing of one cycle, and the preparation for another. When you see this number, it may be a sign that a chapter is ending, so your mission can begin. You are no longer just learning, you are sharing. No longer only receiving, you are transmitting. If the number 999 resonates with you, let it be your sign, your affirmation that you are being called to step into the role of keeper of the light for this new era. I know you may feel unready. You may think you are just an ordinary person, but that is exactly why you are chosen. True knowledge does not need titles or platforms. It lives in the simplest acts, in the way you listen with an open heart, the way you forgive, the way you look at a child and see the universe in their eyes. A friend once told me, when you tell a story with love, you preserve the history of the soul. I believe that because every time you speak truth, you return a voice to those who were once silenced. Every time you choose light, you continue the unfinished chapter of lost civilizations. Psalm 145:4 says, "One generation shall praise your works to another and shall declare your mighty acts. So speak, write, create, live, not for praise, but to pass on the light. Because if you do not speak, the world will grow quiet. And in that silence, the souls who once fought for light will fall asleep again." You are not just a being of the present. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. Within you are the songs of the ancient earth, the prayers of the waters, the breath of the wind, the fire of those who came before. When you walk humbly, yet radiantly, you are fulfilling the legacy of humanity, a legacy not written in books, but carved in the soul. And if sometimes that memory feels heavy, remember this. You don't need to carry it all. Just hold the part of the light that belongs to you and let it shine. When each of us holds our own flame, the world becomes whole again. So if today you feel a mysterious calling within you, as if something long forgotten wants to be remembered, trust it. It is not imagination. It is ancient memory awakening, inviting you to rise and tell the story of light once more, because perhaps you are the very book the world is waiting to read. When you reach the final stretch of your journey, something remarkable begins to happen. All the scattered pieces of your life, the pain, the losses, the seemingly random encounters, suddenly start to fit together. You look back and realize that nothing was ever accidental. Every person who entered your path, every wound that touched you, every time you thought you were falling apart, all of it was intricately arranged to awaken within you a new kind of sight. The eyes that see the hidden patterns. People often think awakening is a flash of light, a grand revelation. But in truth, it is a gradual quieting. You begin to see, not with your eyes, but with your soul. You start to notice the connections between all things. You see how strangers mirror your own reflection. You realize that the moments of pain were actually doors that led you to compassion. And then you understand, there is no darkness without purpose, only light not yet recognized. At this point, you no longer ask, "Why did this happen to me?" But instead, "What is this trying to teach me?" The moment that question changes, your inner world changes too. You stop playing the victim or the savior. You become the observer, the knower, the connector. Psalm 139:12 says, "Even the darkness will not be dark to you, the night will shine like the day." I have always felt that this verse describes perfectly the final stage of the soul's journey, when you realize that even the darkness carries within it the light of understanding. When you begin to see the hidden patterns, you start to understand that life is a symphony with its own structure. Every crescendo has its pause, every low note its reason. The repeating relationships, the familiar lessons in new forms, they all return so that you may remember. Because once is rarely enough. The universe is patient. It will send you the same lesson until you truly understand. Even the narcissists, the souls lost in illusion, are part of that music. They are the dissonant notes that help you recognize the real melody. Without them, you might never have learned how to stand firm, how to forgive, how to love without condition. They come and go so that you may discover that your light is the one thing that can never be taken. Now, after you have walked through silence, light, wisdom, harmony, memory, and love, you begin to see that everything is woven together in one invisible web. Each soul is a point of light. When one light awakens, it calls the others. And when millions awaken together, darkness has nowhere left to hide. I believe that is why you were chosen. Not to be perfect, but to see truth, to see beauty, to see love in everything. And when you see, you help others see too. That is how the soul spreads light. Not through teaching, but through presence. Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands." Everything around you, the wind, the rain, the sunlight, the rhythm of your heart tells the same story. This universe is a divine design, and you are a living part of it. By now, you no longer need to prove who you are. You no longer need to fight or run. You simply stand here, knowing that you are the meeting point between heaven and earth, between light and shadow, between the visible and the unseen. When you walk with this awareness, every action becomes a living prayer. Every breath becomes a hymn. And as you start to see the world through the eyes of wholeness, you realize that everything you once feared was only a shadow on the wall of perception. You understand that love has no rival. Light has no enemy. The self, the ego, was only a garment you wore to remember your true nature, the pure light of God. Look around you. Somewhere, someone is smiling because of something kind you once said, because you listened when they were lost. You may not remember, but they do. And in that memory, you planted a spark of light. The world changes not through grand gestures, but through small moments of tenderness. Before we close this journey, I want you to do one small thing. Take a deep breath. Recall the entire path you have walked. The darkness, the light, the people, the signs, the numbers. Every step has brought you here, to this moment of stillness and clarity. Know that you have completed a circle. You have awakened, not in a mystical sense, but through understanding that everything, every joy, every sorrow, is God learning himself through you. And when you accept that, you become free. I want to end with Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. There is nothing left to fear, nothing left to chase. Rest in the joy of this presence, because you have come home. If something in this journey has touched you, a light, a peace, a memory, a number, share it. Not to boast, but to affirm that you too are a point of light in the sacred network of God. Leave a word, a prayer, or simply say, I am here. Because when you do, your light reaches farther than you know. You have walked through fire, through water, through shadow, and through light, and yet you are still here, calm, bright, whole. The world may change, but your soul does not. It is a fragment of eternity. And now that you know this, you no longer need to search. You are what you were seeking all along. Grateful that you chose to spend these moments in the light of this story. If it touched your soul, please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so the next whisper of light may find its way back to you.